Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new to Corey's Nail Diary. We talk about books, nails, and everything in between. Today, we've got like a cozy, cute little vlog for you guys. Honestly, I've got some things to talk about, but I didn't feel like getting all done up and being under the lights and everything like that. So let's just chat. So guys, recently I was approved for my first NetGalley ARC read, which is so crazy because I feel like I have shared on social media that I have had no interest in becoming an ARC reader like at any point. So the fact that I got accepted to ARC read a book is insane to me. Backstory. In 2024 in the summer, I had gone on a 4th of July trip to go see my family. And on the way back, I needed a book to read. And I found the book Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder, which I will say got me into posting about books on social media. This is my book talk debut. Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder. I have never heard anybody talk about this book before, and I got it because it was available through my library through Libby, and I was like, all right, sounds good. Like, I read the description and everything. This was like the most I'm so surprised 5-star ever. This has a little bit more spice than what I'm used to. It is so good. I think something changed my brain chemistry after reading that book because that book was so incredible. It was about these two main characters who used to be on like a soap opera type of show together, and their characters obviously had a love story, but behind the scenes, the two of them were hooking up. So the storyline was them returning to the show years later, having moved on from everything and no longer sleeping with each other, and having to like acknowledge the elephant in the room, basically. It was so good. I loved that book so much, guys. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to look into Ava Wilder. I need to know everything else that she's ever written. I need to read all of it. Come to find out, that was her second book, and the first book she wrote, I was like, I can't read this. I don't want it to be over. I'm like, I need to hold this for like I know I'm gonna be like in a book slump. Like, I need to read a new book thing. Flash forward to this year, 2025, and I was scrolling through my book Instagram, and I see an event at the Ripped Bodice in Brooklyn, and I was like, hold on, look at who's invited, Ava Wilder. But when I saw that, I was like, I have to go. So I then, from that Instagram post, found her account and saw that she had her new book on NetGalley, and I was like, damn, I've never actually wanted to like ARC read anything before, but I fear I have to do this. So I applied thinking nothing of it. Like, I've never read anything on there. I just had an account. I connected my social medias, whatever. About like 2 weeks later, I get an email being like, you've been approved. And I was like, hold on. Empty the TBR. We need to do this right now. So here's what we're talking about today. We are talking about Some Kind of Famous by Ava Wilder. Now, before I begin everything, I would just like to say thank you so much, Penguin Random House, NetGalley, Ava Wilder. I really appreciate this opportunity to read this book early. I absolutely loved it, and I'm so happy to share my opinion on it. So let's get right into it. This book revolves around the main character, Merritt Valentine. When she was a teenager, was like a really big pop star, like won 8 Grammys type of vibe. And she's since moved back to a small town in Colorado to be closer to her sister, Olivia. In the beginning of the book, Merritt and Olivia decide that she's no longer living with Olivia anymore, and Merritt has to get her home in Colorado more or less built. I get the vibe that the house is built, but it hasn't like been tailored to her in any way. So she ends up calling up the small town carpenter Nico. And let me just say, I like Nico. We all like Nico. You'll understand what I mean by that soon. If I had to describe this book's tropes, I would say Second Chance is the first one that comes to mind. Obviously Hollywood. I think those are my two biggest, but yeah. So, okay, I read this book, and that is all I can give you without giving away any spoilers. Those are all things that happen within the first chapter. That being said, I will still give you my overall review of the book. So for me, this book was 5 stars. I fear anything Ava Wilder writes is going to be a 5-star for me. I realized about halfway through this book that this is the book I've been waiting for, as weird as that sounds. I have had like a weird kick of like, I read ACOTAR for a minute and then I was like, oh, I guess I could go back to romance, like strictly romance right now. I went back to it and I was like, this is good, but I feel like it's missing something. What it was missing is characters that actually had depth. So these characters, like, they had known each other growing up, but they didn't know each other as adults, right? So like, they knew baseline about each other, but as the story goes on, you learn that they're really, really getting to know each other. Like, there are so many like family stories. There are so many Hollywood stories. Like, it just, when it comes down to the books that you read and you're like, after you're done, like, oh, they would never actually last because their miscommunication was so bad. These two genuinely would last because a lot of this book is them getting to know each other, which I love that. You know what? I would say it's a friends to lovers as well. I love a good friends to lovers. I just think that this book was such a breath of fresh air in a weird way, because you don't get many books anymore that aren't insta love, or maybe I'm just reading the wrong books, to be honest with you, but these characters genuinely seem like they liked each other, which I know if you're reading romance, it's like, I feel like that should be how it feels, but no, like half the times I'll read these books and I'm like, I'm not into this because it feels like he doesn't actually care about her at all whatsoever. Like, the way that this book talks about boundaries, talks about like history, background of like each of the characters, it's great. Super realistic. The characters are realistic to life. I love her relationship between her and her sister, her and her sister's husband, her and Nico's relationship to the whole town and everything like that. I'm not normally a small town romance girl, but this book made me feel like maybe, just maybe, I might have to change my mind. I will show you guys the cover once again. I know that I will put it here on the screen, but I'm just going to show it to you while I'm filming it as well. Guys, this cover is also so cute. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I loved this book. I love this author. I am going to be vlogging the experience of when I go to the Ripped Bodices Dell Romance panel, and I actually get to see Ava Wilder, which is great. At the event, I actually, with the tickets I got, actually, it comes with a paperback version of this book. So I will have a signed copy of this book as like a cute little memento. It's my first ever ARC read. And yeah, this book actually is published on October 28th, 2025. I highly suggest getting it if you are a romance girly who likes small town, friends to lovers, and just anything that I've described here. I love a good Hollywood romance. It's also Hollywood, but like not really. There's a part that's in Hollywood, but like not a lot of it is, if that makes sense. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you read this book in the comments down below. Let me know if you're going to read it, and let me know what else you guys want to see from me. And until then, I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and that's all. Bye!